Hey everybody, welcome back. Week 10 of the NFL is almost in the books. Poker Guy, what'd you think of this week's games?
I thought the games overall were pretty lackluster, but definitely some things we need to talk about before the end of the evening.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get to that NFL slate real quick, but we got Twitter's on fire right now, right? California, the whole state of California is on fire, but it is not as hot as Twitter. Now, for anyone out there who's not on Twitter, if you're not on there, here's a reason to get on there. Poker Guy, do you know who Zach Smith is?
No idea.
All right, I think you do know who he is, and once I explain who he is, you're going to remember that. So we got our friend Urban Meyer, right? Your boy Irby. Remember that coach who was beating up, maybe or maybe not, beating up his wife? And then Urban Meyer got in some problems because he maybe or maybe not covered up for that guy beating up his wife?
Yeah, but that was Urban Meyer's wife took the fall, right?
I think so. I think he threw her under the bus. I think she's got some Greyhound tracks on her back. But as far as I can understand, she took most of the heat for that. Now, that guy's name's Zach Smith. So Zach Smith, he's disgraced. He is basically run out of coaching. Not run out of coaching on Twitter because his handle is @CoachZachSmith on Twitter for anybody who wants to see these things.
Should I pull that up right now?
You can pull that up right now. I'm going to read through these for you because I want to hear your reaction to what's going on. Now, Zach Smith hasn't tweeted in a while, but he got on Twitter today, and he set Tom Herman's ass on fire. Now, Tom Herman is the head coach of the Texas Longhorns. Used to be the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes. At the same time, Zach Smith was a wide receivers coach. Now, apparently, Coach Smith and Coach Herman, both big drinkers. And the accusations that Mr. Smith, can I call you Mr. Smith? Is that okay? Can I call you that, or should I call you Zach? We'll call him Zach. We're feeling less formal. Definitely not going to feel formal about what he's talking about. So 4 hours ago, this shit came on Twitter, and he got out the flamethrower and started coming after Coach Herman. So here's we go. Here's tweet number 1. Hey, it's from Zach Smith. How to @Coach Herman and @BellTGH. That's Coach Herman's wife. All right, so he's coming after Coach Herman's wife here. Feel after their horrendously underperforming season. Better question. How does she feel about her husband being the biggest shitbag in America? Doesn't want to ruin her own life? Doesn't want to ruin her own life, just like she told my ex, I'm done being quiet, Michelle. He keeps coming. So Zach Smith's a big drinker, and I don't want to accuse him of being on the bottle right here. And here's the best part is where all these tweets are coming out. His Twitter profile picture is him with his 3 little kids crawling on top of him and him smiling, trying to pretend not being a turbag that he is. But that's what's right to the left for a visual juxtaposition of him being a douchebag. So he comes out and he's like, hey, @BellTGH, remember when you had Coach Todd Herman text me that you are not afraid of me? You should be afraid because I know everything you told my ex and I know everything your shitbag husband has done. So be afraid because I know the truth.
Shit.
Hey, Coach Todd Herman. You still running from the truth? Cool with me getting my life ruined on some bullshit, but don't want me to expose you? Send one more person to meet with me to hide your shit. I'm done protecting you, bitch. You're a bad human. He's on fire. You're on fire, Zach. I found a new solace in being honest. No one likes that, but I have no reason not to. So here we go. No. This is where he really starts setting things on fire. It's threats until this point. Now he's coming out with specifics. I was crucified and ruined on social media for no reason. However, I know several high-profile coaches that should have been. Know what I mean, Coach Todd Herman? Remember the several times you cheated on BellTGH and she told my ex about it? Because I do. LMAO.
Oh, he did the LMAO in there.
LMAO. He's laughing his ass off. He thinks this is funny as hell. Now he gets Brett McMurphy. I think Brett McMurphy is probably Zach Smith's Mark Schlabach. So I fucking hate Mark Schlabach. He's a mudslinger. He's a piece of shit. You're not a reporter, Mark. Until I hear Sean Miller on those tapes, you can kiss my fucking ass. But anyhow, Zach Smith, he's coming at Brett McMurphy and he says, "Hey, at Brett McMurphy, report this. I witnessed Todd Herman cheat on his wife several times. Once at an Asian massage parlor, and just texted him that I'm done protecting him. Want to go be honest now or nah? Capital LMAO." So he's really fucking having a good time with this. And then he sends a long text message to Todd Herman, basically threatening to expose him. Todd, he responds with, "Okay, cool. Hook 'em," and then like a little fucking hook 'em horns emoji.
Yeah.
And the attached tweet to that is, "Remember when you were with an Asian masseuse? Because I do, at Coach Todd Herman. You're the biggest snitch alive and also the biggest hypocrite alive. Anybody want to know all that I know about Tommy Boy? Contact me. LMAO." Zach's still laughing. Right? And then he retweeted something about, I don't know, get a drink, something. And then he gets into a little more of Coach Tom Herman's infidelity. He says, "Hey, at Coach Tom Herman, remember when you told me about Bell TGH caught you cheating on her with an Iowa State recruiting girl? LMAO, I do." Smiley face tears. Smiley face tears.
Oh, no.
All right, he's on fire. So Zach's in the bottle hard here, pretty hard. If I'm kind of thinking about what's going on, I don't think his kids are hanging off of him right there. I think he's in a dark room, covered in his own semen, with just a fucking empty bottle of booze next to him. So he says the problem with coaching, you're not supposed to be real. He calls himself a snitch. He's like, "But I'm snitching because Coach Todd Herman cheated on Bell TGH several times. She used to call my ex and cry about how I was such a cheating shitbag. They will deny it. Like she told her, I don't want to lose my life." And then some guy actually calls him out. This dude, "No, I won't fix your furnace." Which, hey, poker guy, what's a furnace?
That's funny as fuck. "No, I won't fix your furnace." But yeah, furnace is something that heat a house. But keep going.
Those heat your house, man. You know that now. Now, this furnace guy, he says exactly what I'm thinking. He's like, "Hey, Coach Smith has been hitting the bottle hard on a Sunday afternoon." Zach Smith says, "Oh, I hit the bottle less than Coach Todd Herman did nightly when he took G2s from OSU to mix with vodka." But good story. I don't know what G2s are. I got to look that up. Maybe
that's probably Gatorade too. That's probably Gatorade too.
Oh, maybe. That's probably too. Yeah, okay. All right, you know more about sports
mixing Gatorade and vodka.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Not a good thing to do as a side note. Not a good thing to do, but keep going. This is funny.
Yeah, so then finally he ends the night with, "So many people want to talk about football fandom bias. Keep DMing me. I love you guys. Problem is I'm not going to sit here silent, so y'all have a good night. Plenty more coming for Coach Tom Herman and Bell TGH." So that's what I was talking to you about earlier. That's what's going on Twitter today.
I have so many questions.
Let's go. Let's hear them. Let's hear the questions. Maybe I've got answers.
Like why? Why did this all happen? Is it just because he had his name dragged in the dirt so much that the straw that broke his camel's back, I guess?
I don't know why the particular timing of it, right? I do know that he feels like the victim, and that's classic narcissism right there. I'm not a psychologist. I'm, just some dude sitting in his basement talking shit about people on Twitter. But I got to think that he's finally realized, he's probably called every last person in his Rolodex, and he realized he's never getting back into the game. So it's
I think so too.
If you can't bring yourself up, why not bring everybody else down with you? That's what Zach's doing. And Tom Herman is his target. I'll tell you this, though. I don't dispute that he's without class, but I kind of believe him. If I'm just going to be real about it. Like, I kind of believe everything that he's saying.
How can you not believe him? This is like the ultimate kamikaze move, driving your plane right into that aircraft carrier. Because at this point, nobody's going to hire you because you're an alcoholic. The only thing that's left for him is to go out on a public apology and be like, "I'm going to put myself in rehab. just the classic alcoholic move.
Yeah, he could say, "Oh, the thing is, it's not the alcoholism that's keeping him out. It's the fact that he's been labeled as a domestic abuser, which his
The
Twitter
abuser?
profile just
I
says
thought he.
hashtag not me." Right? This is hashtag not me.
That's a good
Uh,
hashtag. That's a good one.
which I don't know what was the hashtag that was going around for the
Me too. It's like
me
if you've
too.
been
Yeah,
raped, you
that's right.
say
Hashtag
hashtag
me
me too.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's his antidote for the Me Too thing. Hashtag not me. He's staunchly denying any sort of involvement there. It's tough to believe it. He seems like a crazy guy, and he was probably married to a crazy lady. So it's tough to
hmm
believe either one of them in any sense. I didn't follow that. I don't enjoy that side of sports. Um, I do enjoy this side of sports though, which is a fine line. I get that I've got feet on both sides of it, but I do like the fact that he's gone General Sherman. Do you know who General Sherman is, poker guy?
Like Tecumseh Sherman,
Yeah,
William
William Tecumseh
Tecumseh.
Sherman.
Yeah.
So Zach Smith is basically in Atlanta right now, and he's gonna fucking torch and burn his way all the way to the coast. Whether he gets there or not, we'll see. I don't know what he does at the end of this. This is a guy who may end up, you know, I don't want to. He may end up doing something crazy at a certain
I
point.
hope not. I hope not. But
Let's keep an eye on this dude. Like
like,
local
why
law
can't
enforcement need to have a car parked outside of his house like
they
constantly.
should just Baker Act him? They should. This is what the Baker Act is for. Throw him in a psych ward. Give him some Zoloft. He'll be fucking fine. Uh, like in moments like this, though, like can't we just put everybody on a polygraph, and then we can just like that. Remember that one show they used to have where on like Fox News they would like put you and your spouse, and they would put a lie detector on you, and then they would ask you like progressively crazier questions, and if you want to answer the question, you get paid more money. So people would admit to infidelity, admit to
Really? I don't
drinking
remember that.
problems. Yeah, it was like a show. It was called "I've Never Lied." I don't know what it was called, but there was one that's really famous. That some chick, all for like 200,000 bucks. She's like, "Yeah, no, I cheated on my husband," and I think she even said it like who she cheated with. Like I don't know, but it's still pretty wild. But I don't know. Why can't you just put both of these people on TV and polygraph them, and then we'll just know the truth?
At this point, Zach Smith's got nothing to lose, so he'd be down. I don't know if Coach Herman would be for that. I would love, it'd be nice to be at that next Texas press conference, to be in that room. Cause like I would not stop asking him questions about this. Like
Why
no
can't we
matter
DM
what,
him? Let's DM him.
oh, you mean Zach Smith?
Yeah, I'm gonna DM him. He said, "I just looked it up. Keep DMing me. I love you guys. Problem is, I'm not gonna sit here silent." We should reach out to him.
We
Bring
should
him on the
reach,
pod.
we should try and get Zach on the pod. That
Hell
would be
yeah.
a hell of a first fucking guest, wouldn't it? Like that'd be a fucking hell of a
But you know what's
first
crazy
guest.
though? When it's all said and done, like, do you believe the guy?
I believe him.
Me
Like
too.
I honestly do believe him. Cause I mean, Todd Herman or Tom Herman, Tom Herman, right? Yeah, Tom Herman's got all the look of a heavy drinking philanderer, right? I mean, Boris Yeltsin, no one's looked more like an alcoholic than Boris Yeltsin has with that big fucking pockmarked red nose. It's like if you know, there's nothing that anyone could tell you that this Russian guy that looked like that. There's no amount of evidence you could present to me that would make me think that he was a teetotal and sober guy. It's like no, he looks the part. And Tom Herman really looks and kind of acts the part of a volatile man who enjoys a nice hefty drink and wouldn't mind a little rub and tug from Mama San after he gets done with his massage. So, yeah, I mean, I
Mama
believe
son.
this guy, right? I believe him. And, that doesn't mean that he's a good guy or that I like him. Liking, believing somebody is not liking them. But I think he's spitting nothing but the truth. And he may have some pictures or something that could bring down Tom Herman. And that would be the ultimate revenge if he fucking gets that guy canned from doing all this. Because, I mean, say what you will about this guy. Now he's got everybody in the world asking these questions.
Yeah. I guess if you look at it, this is his only soapbox Twitter. You can't really stand on the corner and start screaming obscenities at people. You're going to get arrested. You're going to get sent to the crazy house.
Unless you
But
live in Portland, then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
apparently so. But yeah, this is your medium. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, it's kind of interesting. I'm very excited to see how this pans out. Any predictions as far as what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to predict Zach Smith. I'm going to put myself into rehab, maybe in a week or two, but he's going to put himself into rehab and he's going to try to rehash his career coaching football.
I think he fucking comes hard. If I was him, I'd be trying to secure 1 or 2 last big paydays. Like, dude, I think he does a tell-all book. I think he's in the midst of someone's gonna see this. They're gonna notice the fucking heat that it's bringing. 'Cause everybody loves this shit. This is like 4 hours ago. I don't know how you check things that are like trending on Twitter, but oh yeah, he is fucking trending like a motherfucker right now. And so people are engaged by this. This is gonna be a talking point for everybody this week and beyond. If he comes out with some more fire at any point in time, we're all going to be ready for it. And I just think that this thing's got some legs.
It's actually really funny. I just pulled it up. Yeah, Zach Smith. He's the number one thing on my trending. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So people are interested, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. He's suffering a big injustice, and he will not take it lying down.
This kind of reminds me. You remember Stormy Daniels, that whole thing? What happened to that, man? Because I was walking to Walmart the other day, and I saw that she had just a bunch of books for sale. And I'm kind of like, I thought you were suing this dude for doing all these things, but nothing came to it. Now she has a book deal. Maybe.
I don't follow any of that. I mean, I think it's generally accepted that, she fucked Trump at a certain point. And yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not trying to stay out of politics. It's not what we're about here on this show. But we are about injustice. And I would like to have just it is Veterans Day. So, happy Veterans Day to all the servicemen and women out there. And, same to you. I know you didn't serve in a real war, but I do thank you for all your time, the Little Bird, and everything you've done on the PS4 to keep us safe. So we're all happy. Some contributions, all gave some gave all. And, I did my thing, you did your thing. I think we all deserve a little bit of recognition.
I think you guys need to if you truly are a veteran, you guys shouldn't have to pay for shit ever again. That's just my opinion. Like, you guys should have everything taken care of. Like, it shouldn't be the VA. You guys just get everything you need so you can live your fucking life.
Well, the thing is, there are different levels of veteran, all right? So there's, if we're going 0 to 10, I mean, levels of sacrifice. 10 is obviously, hey, you didn't make it back, and then you've given everything you ever had, ever will have. That's a very sad thing. And then there's I was in the Air Force for 2 years in Del Mar, and I never deployed, and I'm gonna go to fucking Applebee's and get my free mozzarella sticks on Monday and pretend like I fucking earned them. So everybody out there, you know who you are. For those of you that actually served and actually sacrificed, those of you deployed overseas, gave some blood, sweat, tears, you eat those things and you savor them. For the rest of you, stay the fuck out of Applebee's because you haven't earned it, all right? Not everyone's a fucking hero, so don't walk around acting like you are, because there are real heroes out there that deserve that sort of praise. And if we're talking about injustice here in the world, we gotta give a little bit of a shout out to my man, your man, everybody's man, the now twice former head coach of the Louisville Cardinals, one Robert Petrino. So Robert Petrino, some of you know him as Bobby, he got fired. He's done. 2-8. They've had enough of his bullshit. And now all Bobby's got left in this world is his reputation and the $14 million that Louisville still owes him.
If you guys that are listening, Google Robert Petrino, because he's not Bobby, his first name is Robert. The very first picture that comes up is him and his chick, and that makes me happy. So with that being said, rest in peace, sleep well, good soul.
Yeah, that young lady whose reputation he was trying to protect after that incident. No, he never got his due credit on that. He's been vilified by many, And I don't think that that's fair. And another villain that we've got in the news cycle is Carmelo Anthony. I've never been a big Carmelo Anthony fan, but, there's some Woj bombs and some sham bombs, whatever that guy's name is, Sham Maria, who's like Yahoo Woj. They're saying that this may be the end of Carmelo in Houston.
I think it's been long overdue. So, AOP, they're waving me. Yes, they are, Carmelo. They are waving you. Goodbye. Adios. Arrivederci. Goodbye.
He's done. He's been done for 2 years. I mean, he was trash on the Thunder last year. He was trash so far this year. The only question, it was a sad day for James Harden. He might have to be hitting up the strip club solo again. He's putting those girls through college. James Harden Scholarship Fund at the Spearmint Rhino in Houston. But I guess Carmelo ain't going to get his own table with the plaque. He hasn't been there long enough. He may get like an honorary like bench seat at the bar, but he ain't getting his own corner table like James has.
Well, to be honest, he's not really going anywhere. Another team isn't going to sign him, so he can still get that coveted plaque on the, what'd you say? The horned rhino? He might still be able to get.
Yeah, Spearmint
He still
Rhino.
might be able to get that reserved table. It's never too late. Another team isn't going to sign him. Actually, I take that back. I wouldn't laugh my ass off if he gets cut and then the Golden State Warriors sign him, and then the second coming of Carmelo Anthony
He
happens,
finally
and
gets
then
that chip.
he gets that chip. Then you get DeMarcus Cousins also gets that chip, and then at that point, everybody can stop watching the NBA because the NBA is going to be unwatchable. It already is kind of unwatchable.
Everybody in LA is crapping their pants. They are so scared. Every Lakers fan is scared to fuck that he's going to end up on the Lakers. Like, nobody wants him there. He's going to be taking court time away from people that need it, from people that deserve it. So if you're a Lakers fan, I'm rooting for you. I hope that doesn't happen. But as a non-Lakers fan, I kind of hope that does, because I mean, that's going to be an interesting thing. Daryl Morey came out and said, it's unfair. This may or may not be happening. But I don't think that Melo's going to be eating Thanksgiving dinner with James and Shaniqua and Diamond and Cinnamon and whoever else James is dragging home from the old Rhino.
That's funny.
They're not going to be eating those Jack in the Box 3 for $1 fucking tacos at 2 a.m. He's not going to be in on that Thanksgiving dinner. So
you said James. You said James. He might be at LeBron James's Thanksgiving dinner because they have that weird that's like little. They got that relationship. Him and Chris Paul, the three of them. They were in the Olympics together. They were on the Dream Team. So you have LeBron James might get that unwanted welcome. That ding ding. 8 o'clock rolls around. Guess who's there wearing that hoodie? It's Carmelo Anthony. You got to let the man in. He's there. He's drinking champagne. He's getting hammered. He's grabbing your wife's titties. I mean, there may be a brawl. There may be a brawl in downtown LA.
Could be LeBron's first big injury, breaking his hand on Carmelo Anthony's drunken face. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm rooting for that. I mean, that would be fantastic. I would love to see that happen. But a couple other things to get through here before we can get to these games. Now, I guess really the other thing I want to talk about, Jimmer Fredette. So he's the great white hope for all the people out in Utah that want their hero to do something great. Well, he did it today. Jimmer threw down 55 in the Chinese Basketball League, which you may, talk a bunch of shit about that. I don't care, though. Those are professional basketball players. But the amazing thing about it was he put down 40 fucking points in the fourth quarter. And so that's more points than I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have scored in any half this year.
It's true. They're at the bottom right now, 1-11. I have poor J.R. Smith. But you said 55. He actually scored 75 points.
Oh, pardon me, 75.
He scored 73. That was his record up to about a couple months ago. But now he's at 75 points. What's next? 85 points? 100 points? I mean, just feed the man. Feed that Caucasian god. Feed him.
They call him the lonely god over there, which is apparently lonely is how nothing translates correctly. I knew this kid in college who was I think he was in my French class or he was in one of these like smaller 20 people classes. He had this fucking dented head where his eyes were too squished together. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, they're
Yeah.
supposed to be a certain amount apart, but they're in the middle of your face and they're very tiny,
Mm-hmm.
so it looks quite strange. But he had this tattoo on his back, and it was one of those Chinese symbols. And somebody asked him, like, what does that mean? And he's like, oh, it means like brothers or brotherhood. And then some Chinese dude was like, that ain't fucking what that means. He just looked at us. He's like, what? What do you mean? He's like, that means hill. Like that's like a mountain or like a small mountain. That means a hill.
Like a small to medium sized like bump in the ground.
Yeah, a small mound of dirt is actually what that symbol means. So I started calling him Hillback the rest of the year in that class. He didn't find it funny. It wasn't particularly creative, but it got under his skin quite effectively. And you got to be an asshole to go out. Do not get Chinese. I mean, it's a fad that seems to, for the most part, have come and gone. But do not get any sort of Chinese symbols tattooed on your body unless you have at least like 3 Chinese people with you that are fluent in both English and Chinese that can verify that you are, not cocksmith or like cockfag, like whatever on your back. Like you can't do that. That's a dumb thing to do.
I feel like the only people that should be, walking around with these symbols on their bodies are like people that are members of the Yakuza or like members of like some rival triad group. If you aren't in that like little circle, then don't walk around with like loyalty tattooed in your neck or on your neck in Chinese characters.
Yeah, it may not be loyalty. It may not be loyalty. That's the number one thing to worry about.
I had just real quick, this is kind of stupid, but I had this kid that I knew in high school. He was a total nerd. Like he loved playing, I don't remember, this computer game that he loved. I think it was StarCraft or something. He was a total nerd. And he ended up getting on his chest in that cursive, like that gangsta cursive, the word loyalty, and then like the head of a Rottweiler in like like it had like those little like accents, like little sparkles that you draw in. It looked ridiculous, especially on a 5'3" white man. It didn't look right, and I always think about that. I mean, that is the worst tattoo anybody has ever gotten in their life. It is so unreal.
I know a guy that total douchebag. He's like one step up from a pyramid scheme guy. And if he found the right pyramid scheme, he'd try and get on that too. I guarantee it. But he got the word humility like tattooed on him in gigantic old English letters from basically all along his tricep, from his shoulder to almost his fucking wrist. And it's like, oh. It's a very humble tattoo. It's a very humble tattoo that you've gotten there, my friend. I'm glad that you are practicing that in your life because that is that is the essence of who you are as a person. So I'm glad that you did that.
This is a very humble tattoo. That's killer.
Very humble.
I know a guy that has I know a lot of surfers. I know a guy, he had don't ask me why he has this, but he had a sunset on his lower back. I'm not too concerned so much about the content, but more so the location. You don't get a lower back tattoo unless you're like a stripper or like whatever, like a 25-year-old sorority chick. I don't know. But this adult male, 27-year-old, 28-year-old has a tattoo and he like rocks it. It's like his tattoo. It's fucking ridiculous.
I got a sunset tramp stamp, bro. It's hardcore. But like you were talking about with Mitch Hedberg, though, is there anything more hardcore than gay sex, man on another man, wrestling him down on the ground? I don't know if it gets any more hardcore than that. So maybe he's onto something there. Maybe that is indeed a very hardcore tattoo.
He's more hardcore than us, it sounds like. That's for sure.
Apparently way more hardcore than either you or I when it comes to that. So let's get into some of these games. We'll start off with Redskins at the Buccaneers. So here's one of my many calls of the week that I was wrong with. So I was in here pretty fucking cocky. And then, here's my come up. It's always coming back at you. Never get too high, never get too low when you're gambling on sports, because the Redskins 16, the Buccaneers 3. Redskins moved to 6-3, Buccaneers fall to 3-6. It's funny because the Buccaneers moved the ball up and down. They outgained the Redskins, I think, basically 2-1. They just kept turning the damn ball over and they couldn't score any points. Alex Smith, only 178 yards passing. AP with 19 rushing attempts, 68 yards. So he only watched the DVD today, but at least they got him close to 20 carries.
Give that man a Blu-ray. Give me his address so I can send him a Blu-ray player. I have an old PS4 in my room. I'll send him that. I'll go to Walmart. I pick up a picture of whatever, a DVD of The Rock and Blu-ray. I'll send it over. Bam, Redskins going to the playoffs. But at this point, the Redskins are kind of going to go to the playoffs. I mean, I don't really see them being stomped out by anybody else. But let's go back a little bit. 500 yards of offense for the Bucks. 500 yards of total offense and 3 points. It's almost like they went out of their way to lose that game.
Obviously, I'm only watching Red Zone, so I don't get all the intricacies of each of these games. I don't understand how that's possible. Do they get the ball on the 1 yard line every time and then drive it down in the red zone and then turn it over? Or did their kicker miss 5 field goals? Or what's going on? I mean, that is a crazy thing.
I think there were some missed field goals. I think there was a bunch of missed field goals, 2 ill-timed interceptions, the crazy fumble. It was just overall probably the worst coached team possible the entire weekend. And if this doesn't solidify Dirk Cutter getting the shovel, I don't know what will.
Dirk Cutter's getting the shovel, and the Bucks are getting a shovel right now too. Here you go. Take this. I don't care. I don't care about how many kids you have. I don't care about that. Take the goddamn shovel and start digging, okay? I'm gonna put a bullet in your knee, and then it's gonna be harder for you to dig. But either way, you're digging. I ain't digging, okay? So take the damn thing. Your season's over, and we may see some more famous Jameis here towards the end of the season for them. Now, the other guy that got drafted right after Jameis Winston, he had a little different day. Marcus Mariota and the Titans, they took it to the Patriots. No Rob Gronkowski playing. Patriots offense stalled all day. Patriots fall 7-3. Titans moved to 5-4 after beating them 34-10. Tommy got pulled from the game, last 6 minutes. And the big thing about this is there's a lot of Patriots connections. And I don't know if you saw Dion Lewis after the game. He was talking some mad shit.
I thought that was dumb, though. I thought that was like a ESPN, fake, they're just trying to create drama there. Because he just said, I beat them.
We called him cheap ass. He's like, he called the Patriots cheap ass. He's like, that's what happens when you get cheap ass motherfuckers. You get beat. But I never understood that because like we were talking about last week, it's not that they're cheap. They're spending the same amount of money on their players, bitch. Like, you do not fucking know how the salary cap works? How can you call them cheap? They just didn't want to give you the money, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like Le'Veon. Oh, pardon me. That was a Freudian slip. But Dion Lewis is essentially like there's an old joke out there. What's the difference between a slut and a whore? It's a slut will fuck anybody. A whore will fuck anyone but you, right? Yeah. So it's like he's that guy. One. He's that 20-year-old dude who can't fucking do anything but drink Mountain Dew and not shower. And then he just goes around the internet calling all these girls sluts when they don't want to fuck him. It's like, no, dude, you're the problem, man. They're not bad people. You're just a loser.
It's like the guy who broke up with his chick and he's like on Facebook dropping a status like, I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. My life is so great. I love my life now. It's like that's petty little baby shit. Dion Lewis, grow the fuck up.
Grow up, because hey, listen, you guys are only 5-4 at this point. The Patriots still get to play. I think they play the Jets twice and they play the Bills again. So guess what? They're gonna make it in the playoffs, and you be sitting there at home in January, masturbating, eating ice cream, wishing you were still playing for those guys.
Well, let me tell you what. This is what I hope, because karma's a bitch, and I would love to see an AFC matchup, Pats Titans again. This is the first go around is the game that you want to lose. You don't want to lose the second coming, because the second time Bill Belichick is going to absolutely rape the fuck out of your mouth. So Dion Lewis, you got to be careful, buddy. Don't burn those bridges just yet, because if they can get you for cheap next year, they may pick you up next year. So keep your fucking mouth shut, be a professional, and get ready for the second coming.
Get ready for next week. All right, that's your job. Two teams, another New England Patriots connection. Oh, man, Patricia. Oh, man. You slovenly fuck. You are in it deep this time. Lions fall to 3-6. Bears move to 6-3. They caught a big whooping from the Bears, 34-22. It wasn't even that close. I did have the Lions in a 10-point tease, so not every part of that hit, but that did. So they did what they needed to for me. I still lost that bet. It was not a good day, not a good week for me. But anyhow, Mitch Trubisky in my face, 355 yards, 3 TDs. Matt Stafford looked like dog shit. Khalil Mack, he's back in the game. I don't know if you saw that highlight of him running over half of the Lions' offensive line and sacking Stafford, but he's back in it, and the Bears are looking pretty formidable.
This is crazy. Mitch Trubisky played an amazing game, and I still to this day don't understand how Khalil Mack is only worth 2 first-round picks. I don't know what John. You're gonna have to break that down for me. I don't know if it's a contract thing or a money thing, but how did they only get 2 picks for this guy? Like, I feel like that's really cheap. I might be talking out of my ass right there. I don't know, but 2 picks seems really inexpensive to me.
I think it was generally a pretty fair trade. I mean, blue chip pass rushers are not easy to find. They're the next thing, of general value to anyone in the NFL. It's a franchise quarterback, and then it's the blue chip pass rusher. But I really think that all came down to Mark Davis spending too much money on his haircuts, and he just couldn't pay Khalil Mack at the time. Like, he was going to have to dish out money he didn't have. And that was one of the big motivators for doing that. And
well, that makes sense to me. I'm glad you broke it down that way. That makes sense to me. So what'd you think of Mitch Trubisky, man? He had a killer game. He had that crazy run, dancing all over the field. He's playing really good, man. He's almost like a second coming of Tim Tebow. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be convinced. All right, I'm gonna toe the line. I'm gonna wait till he's having a Blake Bortles year. He's gonna have a good game here or there, but mark my words, there's 100% chance that when the Bears lose in the playoffs, we're all gonna be looking at Mitch Trubisky as the reason. All right, you can go ahead and you can put one on the Lions mid-November. All right, that's fine. But is Mitch Trubisky going into New Orleans, into that dome, and taking the Bears to victory over the Saints? Is he going into the ferocious LA Coliseum with all 18 Chargers fans? All 18 Rams fans? They had a fucking shitty turnout today, by the way. You know what? I'm going to hold my tongue on that as all that entire state is burning down. The Pride people skipped the game so they wouldn't get caught on fire. So I'm going to hold judgment on them. But in general, they got a shitty fan base. So, but mark my words, when the Bears go out, I'll be sitting here in January when that happens, just happy as a pig in shit, because I'm going to be knowing that it was Mitch Trubisky that cost him that game.
Damn, harsh words. I hope you're wrong, but at the same time, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right. I never know what to think about the Buffalo Bills. Like I said, I kept my money off of that this week. Bills, they took it to the Jets. And whether there's a really tight race going on right now, Bowles versus Cutter, who's the next coach fired? And it very might well be Todd Bowles at the end of this. Every single Jets fan in the world has had enough. It's over. And they want that guy gone.
Yeah, the experiment's over. Adios. 4 rush attempts? That's it? 4 attempts for 30 yards? That's pretty dog shit. But can we talk about the return of Bark Dog? I was watching this, and I was very excited to see Bark Dog absolutely slinging that thing. And he did, almost throw a couple interceptions, but still, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for a win. Is it Bark Dog time, or are we going to go back to Nathan Peterman next week?
No, they're looking for any excuse to not play Peterman. And that excuse was literally Matt Barkley. Like, Matt Barkley, 3 days after the checkout line, was a better option than Nate Peterman. So I don't think we're ever going to see Nate Peterman throw an NFL pass again, barring some sort of crazy injury situation. Because, Barkley composed himself well. I thought he had a couple good throws, and there's no way that they can go back to Peterman.
What do you think about them? They might just be resting Peterman for a later game. What do you think?
Saving him, watching his minutes, kind of like Greg Popovich, who used to rest Tim Duncan and Tony Parker a lot. I don't think that
Exactly.
that's the general strategy. I really don't. I think that Gronk sat out today because Bill Belichick said, hey, he looked at his schedule and he's like, oh, we got 2 against the Jets. We got 1 against the Bills. We got 11 guaranteed wins on our schedule. We're going to fucking be okay. Let's let Gronk sit this thing out. I don't think that that's what they were doing with Peterman. I really don't. And I think that when Allen gets healthy again, there's a decent chance that guy could get cut. And I think his time in the NFL is near an end.
I'm surprised he lasted this long, honestly. We're halfway through the season and he's still on a roster. That is pretty impressive, you have to admit.
That would be a nice bet to take is who gets who. Okay, so here's which happens first. Todd Bowles gets fired by the Jets or Nate Peterman gets cut by the Bills.
I think Todd Bowles getting fired. I think that's a big one.
He's a heavy favorite there because if you can't get fired after what Nate Peterman's done, I don't know. Like, did he fuck? Who did he see fucking who at this point where he's still in the building? Like, who did he see fucking?
How many people do you think are extorting somebody at this moment for accidentally receiving a dick pic? You know what I mean? Maybe Nathan Peterman accidentally got a dick pic from the Bills ownership, and he's just holding it hostage. I got it on my 1 terabyte hard drive. I got it in my account. My Dropbox. Yeah, my Dropbox. My 2 Gmails.
It's fucking
I got
everywhere,
my 2
bro.
Twitter burners. I got it everywhere. It's ready to explode.
I got it in my lawyer's office. If my body ends up in a ditch, this thing's gonna hit the streets. So don't you try and fucking kill me. Like, you just keep letting me go out there and sabotage your team, man. I need to live this dream.
I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly.
The other thing too is like they got some Fortnite. I don't know if you saw that, but Fortnite had, I don't play Fortnite, but they've got, you can dress up like as NFL players.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I wonder if they got JPP, and I wonder how many fingers like if they got an anatomically accurate JPP like Fortnite player. If he's got like 3 fingers on that one hand.
Missing the fingers. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
I'm not so much concerned about the JPP missing fingers. I'm more concerned about the Drew Brees, whether or not he has that thing on his cheek. You know what I mean? Because like JPP, if you look on the back of his jersey, it still says, Pierre Paul or Pierre whatever. So that's JPP. But if you look at Drew Brees' face, it might look a little different if he doesn't have that thing.
Yeah, it's not contagious. It's not congenital. All right,
we don't know that.
Things we know about that.
We don't know that. You said that last week.
I think we do know that.
You don't know that because last week you said his 4 kids don't have that, but they might be carriers. We have to get further research.
That's true. It could be like some sort of recessive gene.
Exactly.
That gets passed down like all
the
that
ginger
shit
gene.
Yeah, like all that shit that goes in like the royal family because they're all fucking each other. Those pasty white people. But speaking of the royal family,
is that a good segue?
Yeah, speaking of the royal family, so my wife is a full-on. She actually looked this up, and it was funny because so you're a man of many aluminum hats. You have an aluminum fedora, aluminum 5-gallon, aluminum yarmulke. Whatever you can make a hat out of, you've got it, and it's made out of aluminum, and you are throwing out conspiracy theories.
Ooh, I love conspiracy theories. Oh, I love them. So
what's funny is the name for the people that my wife belonged to they're called tin hatters, right? So they're called tin hatters. And it's not.
This is a gang? Your wife is part of a gang called the Tin Hatters?
No, they're not throwing up signs. So it's generally old British women, right, are in this subcategory of people. And they're all people that look very disapprovingly on Meghan Markle, the American wife of Harry, whatever his name is, Prince Harry.
And that's the chick who's like Latina / black, but she looks white.
I think she's half black, half white.
Okay. Meghan Markle is her name?
Meghan Markle, I think. Okay. Markle. Who may or may not be pregnant, right? We're going to find out here in a few months. But it's even one of those things where it's like, even when that baby comes out, there's going to be people that are like, that's not her baby. I want a DNA test. Yeah. She stole that baby from somebody in like some poor neighborhood, kidnapped some pregnant lady.
Totally.
And then had her give birth to that baby in a dungeon. and then now they're pretending that it's hers.
I mean, I want to see the DNA test. Let me see that DNA test.
Yeah, let me see the DNA test and let me do my own. I want that sent to 3 different labs. All right, because you may be faking that DNA test as well.
I
But
mean, is it really that unbelievable to think that super mega rich people steal children or buy them? I mean, I feel like you can. The human trafficking trade is rocking and rolling, dude. It's a really
yeah,
good money there, tax free, cash, international trade, well above local policies and stuff. So it's a business that I myself am trying to get into. So if anybody wants to buy me for $1 million, you just reach out to the YouTube or the pod, whatever.
I
I'm
got
for
two
sale.
kidneys, man. I got 2 kidneys and I only need one of them. So you let me know. Blood type O positive. So let me know. Let me know what you need. I don't want you to come after me in my sleep though. Wake up in a bathtub full of ice, wonder where the fuck I am. But the thing with that is she's getting most of her information from Tumblr, right? Have you ever been on Tumblr?
I don't know what that is. Is it
Yeah,
like
so
a is it like Grinder where you link up with gay dudes? Like a
no,
Tinder
so
for gay men?
it's way different than Grinder, but I guess kind of the same. Because Grinder's full of gay dudes, and Tumblr, as I understand it, for the most part, is full of purple-haired lesbians driving around Subarus and then
Mm.
posting on Tumblr at stoplights.
Sure.
Like that's pretty much who I think the main category on Tumblr is, and then also like Foxykins and other people like that. It's like a
Hmm.
safe space for fucking weirdos for the most part, right?
This is
Because
called Tumblr. I'm gonna pull it up.
yeah, Tumblr, but it's like TMBLR. I think is I've never been on Tumblr. I got no reason to go on Tumblr. I don't drive a Subaru. I'm not a chick who likes other chicks, and I don't have any hair to dye purple. So there's no reason for me to really go on Tumblr. And then I don't like crazy British conspiracy theories. So I guess those are all the other fringe people that are on there. But for the most part, like, Twitter is a savage fucking place. Like it's a very
Hmm.
savage, interface for people to interact with. Instagram, slightly more polite. And then Facebook, a dying place for old people to trade photos of their grandchildren at this point and then have all your identity stolen.
Also, dog memes. I know the Facebook people love dog memes. Love them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's standard. It's par for the course for with whatever old people would like. Um, but you got to
So,
watch out for those people.
so the new thing is that I mean, what is your wife saying about it? Like, I know she's getting most of her information from Tumblr, but is there any new development? Is she just confirmed? Is it still in limbo? I
Still in
guess.
limbo. I mean, there haven't been any good like bikini shots or whatever of the bump. There's no actual like skin shots of the bump, as I understand it. So we'll see how that all goes. But apparently, people just hate that lady.
That's
Apparently,
crazy.
Meghan Markle's a bit of a cunt as well when it comes to just her being a total bitch. I guess her
Really?
assistant quit, like her little like whatever Kim Kardashian assistant like quit.
Right. Legal
Um,
slave.
yeah, the person who has to clean up all her messes, like she's some child at Chipotle who just throws rice and fucking tortilla chips everywhere. I'll tell you this, man, I get tired of that shit. I go to this Chipotle pretty much, 2, 3 times a week for lunch. And half the time when I go there, there's just one specific table where, I mean, you could fit like 6 or 7 people. I got no business eating at it anyway, right? But I always walk by it and it's just all this goddamn rice on the floor, these
Yeah.
chips
Yeah.
everywhere. And then you see some fucking shitty parent just dragging the little stool away and just being oblivious to the filth that they've created. Oh, that's okay. No, I'll just go ahead. I'll live in your filth because you can't control your kid and you can't keep them from just throwing food everywhere. Right? This is why people in Africa can't eat, buddy. It's because of shit like this. All right, this ain't my problem. I'm eating all my Chipotle. I'm not wasting it. I'm not throwing it on the ground. I'm eating every last fucking thing of rice, except for the other day the rice was undercooked. I was very, very upset about that. And I don't like undercooked rice, man. I don't feel like when I feel like I'm chewing on white rat turds. I'm trying to enjoy my fucking burrito bowl.
What
Nah,
do you
it's
get?
I
You
don't
get
know.
the burrito bowl, or do you get the just the standard bowl without the fajita?
I get a
without the tortilla?
bowl. I like the bowl. And what I do, so I worked for this one guy, and he liked Subway, right? So you and
Ugh.
me, we're both 4+ years Subway free. Come March, or excuse me, come May, I'm gonna get my 5-year chip, being 5 years free of Subway after not having that filthy bread-like product and or chicken soy in my body. Never felt better, never felt
Same.
cleaner.
Me too, brother. Me too. It
Yeah,
makes me happy to hear you say that, brother.
solidarity,
We're doing
man.
it together. Yeah, solidarity.
I will fucking go hungry. I will rather go hungry than eat Subway. It ain't happening. I'll tell you what, I would, if I had to, I would eat, you know, closed and sealed bags of chips from there, and perhaps something from the, the fountain, like a fountain drink, if I needed to.
The cookies, I
Um,
feel like, are fair game too. They got the cookies there. I feel like
yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, cookies are fucking not bad, man. I definitely have had. No, I don't think I've had any of those. I used to get those back in New Jersey though. I lived by a Subway. I would go get like real food from some other restaurant, like pick up a slice of pizza, and then my fat ass would roll into Subway and be like, "Give me like 3 cookies for $1 or whatever it
Yep.
is." I need to
Yep.
stuff those in my nasty face.
See,
Um,
my problem was I befriended the people that worked at Subway because, as you know, I lived very close to a Subway, and I didn't have a car in school. So what I would do is I would just, instead of going to a supermarket and buying real food, what I'd do is I'd go to Subway and buy pretend food. And what I did was this place became my Cheers, to where everybody knew my name,
it's true.
and
It
I'd
was
go in there.
uncomfortable for me going in there with you. I
Why?
didn't. I don't. I
Because
don't know. I
everybody knew my
didn't.
name.
I no. It was just like the fucking relationship that you had with everybody that worked there. Like, hey Billy, hey Tommy, how you doing, man? I was like, dude, I'm just here for a fucking sandwich, man. All right. And even at
Yeah.
that, sometimes I mean the other thing about that, there was a gas station. Like they had a little gas station, like attached into that. Not a gas
Hmm.
station, but like a little mini mart.
Right.
So I'd be like, look, I'm just here for my fucking, potato skin chips. Like, I don't want any of that bread or whatever you're calling that. I don't want that in my body today. I can't handle that. I got shit
Yeah.
to do tomorrow.
I'm here for the Entenmann's. I'm not here for your emulsified bread product. No, thank you.
No, thank you. But anyhow, the guy that I knew, he gave me really great advice. Like, I've carried this with me for a few years. He's like, I go to Subway and I tell him that he wants like a chicken sandwich. And he's like, I have him put the chicken on there. And he's like, when they're done, then at that point I tell him that I want like extra chicken or double chicken or whatever. Cause he's like, if I do it like beforehand, he felt like he would maybe get like 1.5 the amount of chicken that he would normally get.
Agreed.
But he's like, if I wait till they do it and then I'm like, oh no, I want double on that, then they've kind of set the standard for what he's gonna get, and then he actually ends up getting more chicken. So I always do that at this Chipotle when I go in there. I get a double chicken bowl, but I always sandbag them on the chicken because I'm like, I want chicken. Because normally they'll do a scoop and then like another little mini scoop. But then if you do just double chicken right off the bat, they'll just do 2 scoops. So instead of getting like 2.5 scoops, you get 2 scoops. That's the sort of cheap asshole I am. But anyhow,
I do
um,
something very similar. Is I don't. What I do is I get the standard bowl, but I don't get the burrito bowl. So they give me the bowl. They get it. They do everything. When I get to the end of the line, I ask for a. After I pay, I ask for a tortilla, because sometimes what they'll do is they'll charge you for a tortilla, or they'll just say like we don't have it, or they'll just give you some kind of bullshit. But if you've paid and you're a customer, you've already put in your debit card. You make eye contact with this woman. You say, "Hey, I also want a tortilla." So the guy that's making your bowl, he's just giving you a tortilla. He's not making a bowl for somebody that ruined his day by asking for a tortilla. So you
I
kind of separate
gotcha.
the process a little bit, and then at the end, you get what you want. You get a tortilla, and you haven't essentially ruined this guy's day, because at that point, he's just grabbing a tortilla.
Okay, yeah. So you're not like, hey, I want a tortilla as well, and then he puts like 2 fucking grains of rice in there and then throws the bowl along.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm not gonna
Or he's
fucking
grabbing
give
like the
you any.
old corn. He
Yeah.
gets the corn that's like all fucked up and dry. There's like no juice on it. Ugh.
Yeah, let me just scrape this stuff that's fucking stuck to the bottom of that, and they'll throw that in yours. Where otherwise he may call for a refresh on that, and you might get some good
Yeah.
shit.
Exactly. Let me get a new bowl of cilantro rice. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I have no fucking idea what we're talking about. Let's get back on track here.
We're
Cardinals and
talking
the
about
Chiefs.
Cardinals Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, so Chiefs moved to 9-1 after their 26-14 victory of the Cardinals. Cardinals 2-7. They're in the rearview mirror. We're smoking cigarettes. Don't throw those out the window. We don't want our DNA at the crime scene because they are done. They are buried. Patty Mahomes broke a couple streaks today. He did not get to 300 yards. He did not get to 3 touchdowns. And like we were talking about in the preview, that 17 points was too big of a nut to lay. Cardinals actually covered, but Chiefs moved to 9-1, top team in the AFC.
Do you think the Chiefs defense is going to come back to bite these guys in the ass? Because they were still able to put up 14 points.
I absolutely do. I mean, what I see happening, I can see the Chiefs not winning a playoff game this year.
I agree.
Because they're going to get the number 1 or number 2 seed, and they're going to run into likely one of 3 teams, either the Chargers, the Patriots, or the Steelers. And the Steelers looked fucking dynamite on Thursday night. So it's reasonable that their defense could let them down at home. The Chiefs might go 14-2 and get shut out of then not even win a playoff game this year.
And all will be right in the world because that's just what Andy Reid does.
Yeah. Plus, they got playoff Andy coming into the stadium, so that's not going to be good. I'll tell you who's probably not going to win a playoff game this year. This one's on me. This is my big loss of the weekend. I've been all over the Falcons. They went into fucking Cleveland and laid down a stinker. All right, you don't deserve it anymore at this point, Atlanta. I'm off of you. You still may beat the Cowboys next week. That's okay. But the Browns moved to 3-6-1, 28-16, beating the Falcons, fall to 4-5. Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdown passes, no picks. He had a good post-game press conference where he said that he woke up feeling dangerous today.
That's stupid. But I just love Baker Mania. Keep it coming. I really like when the Browns win games, so I am excited. But so you're just done with the Falcons. You're over them. You're selling all your Falcons stock.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick jump off. I mean, first sign of adversity. I guess it's actually the 5th sign of adversity if you're fucking 4-5. But first sign of adversity after the winning streak. That's it. They're going to play the Saints in 2 weeks. They're going to lose that. Best case scenario, they'll be 500 at 6-6. NFC's too strong. It's over. Good night.
Agreed. So you're giving him a shovel at 4-5.
No, I'm standing there staring at him. I can't hand it to him yet. I'm not going to hand it to him.
You're listening to their cries and their begs. Please.
Yeah. I get it. You didn't mean to. But yeah, it's like it's kind of like when in Bad Boys where that guy's trying to talk about, how he was him because he got all the information. But it's like, no. You stole the Coke from me, man. What am I supposed to do here? I got to kill you, Eddie. I got to kill you. And I'm going to kill... What's her name? Was Gabby Union in that one, or she was in the second one?
No, she was in the second one.
Whoever that other hooker was that knew Mike Lowry, I got to kill her too. So
Mike Lowry.
Man, I can't wait for Bad Boys 3. That's going to be so great. That's going to be so great.
But I was listening to the pod the other day, just doing my homework and stuff. But you are right. If Michael Bay isn't doing that, I might not watch it. I mean, I'll watch it. But I might not be. Yeah, I'll watch it. But if Michael Bay's not doing it, if there aren't like cars that are exploding as if they're made of dynamite, I'm gonna be really upset and be really sad.
I'm gonna be really bummed out. Did they get that asshole that directed any of those Bourne Identity movies? I'm gonna be furious. Those things
you don't like the Bourne movies?
I just can't stand all the camera shaking. Like Jesus, it's like I don't even have epilepsy, but you're making me feel like I do.
I don't have epilepsy, but my eyes are twitching and I need to go to sleep and turn off all the lights in my house.
Yeah, turn off the lights on the Jaguars, too. 29-26, they fall the Colts. 3-6. Here's your shovel, boys. Start digging. Jaguars are fucking done. It's over. You don't make it to the playoffs from 3-6 when Blake Bortles is your quarterback.
I agree. I know we were talking about it before about missing hookers. I just Googled Indianapolis missing person report, and I don't know, there's some missing people. So I'm going to, put 2 and 2 together and say somebody we know knows something about these missing people.
What's this Escalade? Oh, it's got very dark windows. There he is, the red-faced goblin.
But he's got money, though. I don't watch football, so I don't know this guy. He's just he's not a familiar face. I don't know. I'm going to get in here. He's waving money in my face. I'm going to hop in this car, never to be heard from again.
Never to be seen again. All right, just put the lotion in the basket, baby. Put it in the basket. Jim's got another one in the hole. All right. Fucking Colts 4-5. Jaguars 3-6. Colts still alive in the playoff race. They can still win that division. The Titans, they're 5-4. Houston Texans 6-3. No one's invincible there. It's going to be a tight race all the way through.
Even the Jags? You're saying the Jags aren't done? It's kind of
Jags
like
are done. Jags are fucking over with. They got the shovel, tears, dirt flying everywhere. It's over. Piss their pants. You know, it's over for the Jaguars and
for the Jagwaggers.
The Jagwaggers. All right, moving on. Saints to the Bengals. You know, we picked this thing. We were both on the Saints. I didn't have enough confidence. I don't know why to put money on it. That was my fault. At least I didn't make the mistake of putting money on the Bengals because you'd have been fucking crushing up Excedrin PM, looking for the long nap come halftime at 35-7.5.
Yeah.
And that was a fucking blowout. Andy Dalton went full bad Andy, doing his best Nate Peterman impersonation. Only
just
two
an
picks,
interpretation, not a full impersonation, just a modest interpretation.
Yeah, just a light one. He didn't go like full blackface or anything like that. He just did, you know, some voices and, you know, some offensive tweets perhaps. He can still come back from that. But Drew Brees, 265, 3 touchdown passes. Yet again, no interceptions. And
I don't think he's had an interception all season.
I don't know. I mean, he's got to thrown one somewhere along the way. But, I mean, they're looking good. If I'm looking at anybody who's the best, most complete team in the NFL, I got to be looking at the Saints.
Their offense is killer, and their defense started at the bottom, and they've crawled out of the toilet bowl, and they're actually pretty good. Well, let me take that back. They're not good now, but they're serviceable. And if the Saints are putting up 51 points alone with the offense, I mean, who cares if your other team scores 40 points? Because at 51 points, you're still going to win games. So I think the Saints are going to be very, very dangerous, and I hope that thing isn't contagious. I'm looking at it now.
I don't think it is. I don't think that it is. All right.
You don't know that, dude. That's just conjecture. You don't know that.
We don't know that. All right. There are lots of things we don't know. All right. We don't know that Jim's responsible for these missing people. We don't know that. All right. We can only make our best educated guess. And my best educated guess.
Questions.
Yeah. I'd be funny. I mean, funny though. Like if somebody went. You know, that'd be a good Halloween costume, though. Drew Brees, but with like an exaggerated version of that fuzzy caterpillar. You should do that.
Like a very crude one, just like some black Velcro. You know, just like not even. It doesn't even look right.
Like, but it's got to be fucking huge. Like, it's got to be like a mutton chop. It's got to be like a unilateral mutton chop, where it's like, oh, that's in very. It's got to be like poor taste.
Very poor taste, yeah.
Yeah, like one of my buddies. It was the same. It was a year that Steve Irwin died, and Halloween was not that far off. And he went as Steve Irwin, and he had a fucking whatever, as a stingray, or he had a stingray coming out of his chest and everything, and it was tasteless. But now I don't think that was his most tasteless Halloween costume. He actually did he and his girlfriend at the time did a Blade Runner's dead girlfriend Halloween costume. So he made these like makeshift Blade Runner legs out of cardboard and spray painted them silver and put a tracksuit on. And then his girlfriend was all bloodied up and everything, looking like a zombie corpse or whatever it was. So he's a man. Good. Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, he's a man not afraid to push the limits with the Halloween costume. But I do think that, you know, universally you get a poor reaction. You would not want to walk into a New Orleans bar with that Drew Brees Halloween costume on, because there's like 100% chance that someone's gonna go ahead and rip that shit right off your face.
You get stabbed.
You're gonna go get stabbed if you do that shit.
Speaking of bad costumes, there's always that one that always pops up and people always get really upset about it. We're not religious people, but there's the one about the Catholic priest, and it's a guy walking and it has like the glued on like person getting like head but it's like
Yeah.
somebody other needs, and it's the idea is that it's a child and pedophilia, and it's tasteless, I know, but every time I see it, it's just something is so over the top about it that it makes me laugh, even though I don't condone that behavior, but
Yeah.
it's still funny.
Yeah. It's not our fault that your fucking Pope looks like a guy from the evil Star Wars Lord from fucking. Like, it's not our fault, man. That ain't our fault. We didn't elect that guy. We didn't put the white smoke out when that dude got fucking picked out. Like, that wasn't us. Like, I wonder if he won that election just because he just walked around the room and pointed at people. He's like, I got you, I got you, I got you, because you're all fucking pedophiles, so you gotta vote for me. I got all these votes. He's just walking around swinging his fucking dick everywhere, knowing he's gonna win.
Fuck you, fuck you,
Yeah.
fuck you, and fuck you. I'm out, bitch. Peace.
Yeah, put the white oak in the fireplace, motherfuckers, and give me my funny hat because I'm the Pope now. Let's do this.
It's kind of interesting how they pick each other. That's actually a good question. I'm gonna Google that later. See how they pick the next guy.
See who gets picked for that. But I'll tell you
Mhm.
what, they may be looking for the next Raiders coach sometime soon. What's the buyout
Impossible.
on this thing? $90 million at this point? Because the Raiders
Too
fall to
much
1-8, Chargers 7-2 after a 26 victory over the Raiders. Derek Unicycle was fucking in full on moped mode today. He did some at the end of the game. They're down 2 scores. His fourth down, and he just throws the ball away like into the dirt because they're trying to run a screen pass, I think. Which, by the way, John Greer, what the fuck are you doing? Run a screen pass on fourth down. But anyhow, he just chucks it in the dirt, no awareness of what's going on. And man, it's going to be a long November for Raiders fans.
Well, their only win was against the Browns, so they're 1-8 against. Well, they're 0-8 against real teams. So I don't really know what's going on in Raider Nation, but it ain't pretty.
It ain't pretty. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, they're looking good, looking strong. They're nipping on the heels of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're only one back in the loss column. And you never know.
They're definitely making the playoffs, the Chargers, for sure.
Oh, they're definitely getting in. And you never know. Like I said, they could be one of those teams that shows up in Kansas City in January and sends playoff Andy packing.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Chargers D is pretty good. Might slow down Patty Mahomes, and Phillip Rivers is rocking that bolo tie. Who knows? He might be able to knock out Kansas City. I 100% see that possibly happening.
That's a definite possibility. Now, Dolphins fans, hey, here we go. 5-5. Packers 4-4-1 after a 31-12 victory over the Dolphins. The Brock Lobster could only manage 4 field goals. Oh, we were talking about field goals. We skipped this talking about the Bears, but their fucking kicker had doinked 4 of them off the uprights, Cody Parkey. And what was funny, he got religious about it. And his quote was, my Lord and Savior makes no mistakes. That was the day that I was supposed to have. All right. So if you wondered what the problem was there, Bears fans, you know who to blame. Blame the man upstairs. If you wonder what the problem is in Miami, there's too much blame to go around. You got Adam Gase, you got Stephen Ross, you got fucking Tannenbaum. I wouldn't put this on the Brock Lobster. He's doing the best he can, but Mike McCarthy gets a reprieve after another easy victory over the Dolphins. If they weren't playing the AFC East this year, the Packers would be in tough straits.
I think it's over though, right? Are we giving the shovel to the Dolphins? Because at 5-5, there's no way they're going to beat There's no way that they're going to get into a wild card spot. There's no way they're going to beat the Patriots. So I think it's over for them.
Yeah, it's over for the Dolphins. Take the shovel, start digging, boys.
Did you see that run by Frank Gore though? That dude, you said he has got a Segway coupon he's getting another one today, dude. He didn't do too well today, but he had a couple good runs that are really impressive for a 38-year-old man to be running around like that. It's very impressive.
Frank Gore is going to take he's probably already got a Segway, and he's going to go after the game, and he's getting discounted movie tickets. He's not a veteran, but he is going to get the senior citizen discount, letting him in the movies. That dude's old as fuck, but he just keeps going, man. He doesn't believe in CTE. He does not believe in CTE, and he is not going to be walking around in 15 years because your body, it's going to catch up to you at some point. You can only take take so much along the way. You know, what is that? What is this? There's one thing that they keep injecting people with, Toradol. I think it's called Toradol. It's like a super ibuprofen, like a super anti-inflammatory that destroys your kidneys. So they're gonna need to get like Frank Gore, like segues, and then just get people lined up to just keep just chucking kidneys into that dude's body, because he's gonna be on he's gonna take his segue to dialysis here pretty soon, man. With the amount of anti-inflammatories that guy's got to be putting into his body.
I was thinking about earlier, like what this man eats, because what does he eat? I think he like takes like bone and just broths it and then like blends it, and all he does is eat like chondroitin pills. So he takes like bone broth and chondroitin pills, and that's all he's eating. Because there's really no explanation. Because that man at this point, like you said, bone on bone,
He's
on
eating
bone.
whatever the opposite of Sam Bradford's diet is. That is what Frank Gore is eating.
Well
Because
said.
fucking, he's been through the ringer. Sam Bradford only stands there and can't even move around anymore.
Yeah, but he's making $1 zillion doing nothing. So he's the real winner.
Yeah, Sam Bradford made more money today than Josh Rosen did, just for everybody out there. And he's at home masturbating, eating ice cream. Rams 9-1 after a 36-31 victory over the Seahawks. I'll tell you what, Seahawks didn't win, but they did cover the spread. So thank you for that, Russell Wilson. I do appreciate that. Jared Goff, 318, 2 TDs. Todd Gurley, another big game. Brandon Cooks coming into his own. And I'll tell you what, Rams are dangerous, but that defense, I don't understand. Like, they got all these players, but they just can't seem to put it together.
Yeah, it's not a bad. I mean, it's the middle of the season. You think they'd be a little bit better. They still had a running game today, the Seahawks, and supposedly the Rams have a really good run D, but not today. They didn't really show up. So, like you said, the Rams, they're going to do the same thing they did last year and the year before. They're going to make it to the playoffs, and they're going to maybe win one playoff game, and then after that, they're going to die out and lose.
So we'll see how that goes out in LA. I do think that if they have to go into New Orleans for an NFC Championship game, man, it's tough to bet against. It's tough to bet against the Saints, but Sean McVay, I mean, they're going to score. That's going to be another good one.
I'm not saying they can't score. I'm just saying they're not going to win. Like, they'll definitely put up some points, but it's just not going to happen. Sean Payton or Sean McVay, you know.
Yeah, we'll see who wins the Battle of Sean's in January. That's the only one that matters.
Ooh, the Battle of Sean's. I like that. Did you see? I don't know. This was bothering me when I was watching this game. They kept saying thoughts and prayers about these fires. Like, the NFL is like a bajillion-dollar corporation, and they didn't lift a finger for these people. Yet they're asking me, poor-ass poker guy, 98, to donate money. Like, I don't have a dime. I'm not going to donate money. I can send you thoughts and prayers, but that's all I can do.
Yeah, I can crank those fucking things out for you for sure. But what I can't do is I can't text, Save California to the Red Cross, because fuck the Red Cross, dude. Those people are criminals, man. Like,
Yep.
that is one of the most corrupt organizations that is out there. And let me see. Let me just go ahead and send my money through Verizon to the Red Cross, so that 3 cents out of every dollar can be put towards water, filling up a jet to get these fires put out. Because it's bullshit, man. Like, there's got to be some. I'm not saying don't donate. I'm not saying don't do that. But there's got to be local organizations that are not fucking stealing all your money, that are not the Red Cross. Those motherfuckers are dirty, dude.
Yeah, that's just like the Susan G. Komen Foundation, like the breast cancer chicks.
Fucking criminals.
Yeah, it's like for every dollar you donate, like 0.03 goes to like actual cancer victims. Most of it is spent on marketing. I mean, it's not cheap to convince the NFL to throw pink flags for a couple months. Like, that shit costs money. Where does that money come from? Coming from you and me. So it's all a fucking game. With that being said, dude, we're talking about quick cash. We should start a charity. So I'm down to start a charity.
I'll tell you what, we should not start a charity. That's a good way for sports people to get in trouble. There's that guy, Craig Carton. I think we were talking about him. He fucking ended up in jail. It wasn't a charity, but he started a Ponzi scheme business, and his ass just got sentenced to, well, he hasn't been sentenced yet, but he's been convicted of wire fraud, other sorts of fraud.
So he's wearing the ankle bracelet, but he's not in jail yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably on like house arrest or whatever. I don't think he's actually in like a facility at this point.
He's got the Lindsay Lohan bracelet. He's sitting at home eating ice cream, masturbating. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, pretty soon it's just going to be masturbation with no ice cream for you, Craig. Except maybe on Tuesdays. I think they hand out. I think Sodexo is going to give you some fucking ice cream on Tuesdays. Spoiler alert, it ain't very good though. I've had
And
it.
it's not gonna be masturbation. It's gonna be a little bit of forced mutual masturbation. So enjoy the single masturbation while you can.
Be you jerking off other dudes. So talking about people jerking off in themselves, let's see how the Cowboys are doing it. 13-3. I'm going to get on Twitter. I'm going to go check this game out, see what Skip Bayless has going on. Poker Guy, closing thoughts here as we wrap up week 10 of the NFL?
No, man, it's starting to get chilly over here in Florida. I can feel the wind. It's almost like 70 degrees. It's super gross. I'm frightened. I got the salt ready. I got the shovel ready. I'm ready to rock.
Ready to rock. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week as we preview week 11 of the NFL.